Hello students. In this video, let us learn about the least disk method for measuring the thermal conductivity of bad conductors. So in the last video, we learned about the least method for measuring the thermal conductivity of metals or good conductors. So this experimental setup is already done by you in your labs. So here we have the bad conductor that is taken in the shape of a disk. So it is placed between two disks. This is a heating chamber through which steam is passed, and we are measuring the temperature T1 inside the chamber. And below this disk, we have another small disk C. This is made up of good conductors such as copper or any other material. In between that, we have this shaded region where we place the bad conductor in the cylindrical form. Now, to calculate the thermal conductivity, we consider the steady state condition. And in the steady state, the rate of flow of heat through this bad conductor will be equal to the rate of loss of heat by this disk beneath the surface, beneath this disk. This copper material will be radiating heat out through the exposed surface. So what is that heat radiated out? That will be equal to the rate of supply of heat or rate of transport of heat through this bad conductor. So let us calculate that. Now we have two equations. First equation is rate of flow of heat through the bad conductor. It is equal to K into A into theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by D into T. T is usually taken as 1 second. A is the area of cross section of this disk and D is the thickness of this disk or the distance traveled between these two temperature regions. Theta 1 and theta 2 are the temperatures measured just below and above this disk. Now given these, we can calculate the rate of transport of heat across the bad conductor. Now that Q is equal to the rate of loss of heat through the exposed surface of this material of the disk. So let us write the equation for that. Q will be depending on mass into the specific heat of the material into d theta by dt multiplied by the area exposed. Now let us calculate the area exposed. So C is a disc shaped material. So it has three area. One is the circular area above. Then beneath we have another circular area A. And here we have a cylindrical shaped region around. So we have total surface area of the cylinder. Total surface area of cylinder is equal to the circular shaped region above, then a circular shaped region below, and then the curved surface S. So this is equal to 2A plus S is the total surface area of this cylindrical region of the cylinder. Now out of this, what is the exposed area? We know the circular region above is actually in contact with the bad conductor. The cylindrical region surrounding this cylinder and the beneath surface, the circular region at the bottom are exposed. So of this, exposed area is just A plus S because 1A area, the circular region above the cylinder is in contact with the bad conductor and it is not exposed. So out of this total area, this much area is exposed. So we should multiply by the ratio of exposed area to the total surface area so that we can find the value of Q exactly. So this factor A plus S divided by 2A plus S actually represent the fraction of total exposed area. And we should multiply by mass into specific heat into rate of change of heat to find the quantity of heat that is being radiated. Product of all these will give you how much heat is being radiated out through the bottom part, the bottom cylinder. So we can equate these two under the steady state condition. So let me write K into A into theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by D into T, which is 1, is equal to ms into d theta by dt into A plus S divided by 2A plus S. Now equating these two, you can find K value. We know the area of cross section, the distance between the two thermometers, theta 1 and theta 2 can be measured. Mass of the bottom cylinder is known, its specific heat is known, area of the curved surface and the circular region can be measured. And the only thing that is unknown is d theta by dt, which is the rate of change of heat for this bottom cylinder. Now, how can you measure that? How can you measure the rate of change of heat, temperature with respect to time, the cooling rate of the below part? To find d theta by dt, we will have to do another small setup. For that, we remove this bad conductor D and we keep this cylinder C in direct contact with the steam chamber A. Then, as we know, the steady state will be lost and the cylinder will gain some temperature. Its heat will increase. So, it will gain some heat and this temperature T2 will rise up because now it is in direct contact with the steam chamber. We have removed the bad conductor. When this T2 reaches 10 degrees Celsius above the earlier T2, that is when it reaches T2 plus 10 degrees Celsius, we remove the cylinder from the setup and we allow it to cool down. Then its temperature will fall down from T2 plus 10 degrees Celsius back to its normal room temperature. And we note down the temperature at different time. So we had increased the temperature to T2 plus 10 degrees Celsius and from there the temperature is falling down and we note down the temperature at different time, say 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes and so on. So its temperature will fall down like this and from this value, the falling temperature and the growing time, we can calculate d theta by dt. So given that, you can find the thermal conductivity of the bad conductor K. All the other quantities are found from the experiment itself. D theta by dt can be calculated, can be measured separately by knowing the rate of change of temperature with respect to time. Normally we plot a graph with time along the x-axis and temperature, and the temperature will fall down and the slope of this graph will be d theta by dt. So this is theta and this is time. So I hope this experimental setup is clear for you. Study this setup and the equation. Also try to understand how we measure d theta by dt of the bottom cylinder C. I hope it is clear for you. Thank you.